Alrighty folks, thanks for clicking on this video. James Cards FC here. If you're new to the channel, we talk about the financial side of the soccer card market, and today I'm going to be talking specifically about World Cup stickers. Are they overrated? Are they underrated? Where do they sort of fit in our market? So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started with the introduction like always. And it says, Panini World Cup stickers are the most mainstream collectible that we have in the soccer card hobby. Panini estimated to sell 100 million 2022 World Cup sticker packs in the United States alone, and nearly 1 billion packs worldwide. For the 2022 World Cup, Panini produced 11 million packs per day at their HQ in Italy, so these are by far the most produced and most purchased soccer card sticker type collectible that there is in the entire world. When the soccer card market exploded in 2020 and 2021, a popular narrative was to place importance on the first World Cup sticker for legendary players. These would be known as World Cup sticker rookies, and they would sort of have this name in the hobby as being seen as super important. And a lot of them ended up becoming very expensive, especially in 2021, as everything in the market became really expensive and there was a lot of hype on the market. These World Cup stickers were seen as super key to specific players' markets. So, as more of these stickers got graded, however, prices dropped substantially as the supply on the market overweighted the demand, and the popular narrative shifted to these stickers now being too high pop and therefore not worth purchasing as an investment, quote unquote. Today, I wanted to review the more developed population reports of these popular collectibles to see if they might be overlooked in our current market. And as you can see on the far right hand side of this slide, we have the Kylian Mbappe World Cup sticker in PSA 10 condition. This is the base back version, not the pink back, not the gold, or any of those sort of more rare variations. This is just the normal one. In April of 2021, in PSA 10 condition, it was selling for around $1,000, and its population was around 200. Now, in June of 2023, it's around $70 for PSA 10, and its population has grown to 1,400 PSA 10s. So right away, you can see how the supply and demand scale sort of got out of whack there and caused the price to come down substantially. As we move to the next slide, I want to talk about populations. So this is a graph of the World Cup sticker PSA populations by set, starting with 1970 and then carrying through to 2018. I'm not including 2022 because it's way too early to have population numbers on those, and you would just take 2018 and then assume it would be even higher than that once it is all done being graded or gets more graded than it currently is. But in any event, you can see how many slabs and how many stickers there are for each of the World Cup sets, and on the far right hand side I have my pointers to go through from this chart. For a product with such high population or such high production rates, we don't see many end up getting graded because we know there's millions of these out there, but even for 2018 there's less than 10,000 total that have been graded so far. The 2006 World Cup Germany card set, which should be much rarer than the sticker sets, has a higher graded population than any of the World Cup sticker sets that are on the market, with 10,161 cards graded from that set. If you compare that to the sticker set, there's less than 5,000. Now, if you put up something like 2014 Prism or 2018 Prism or 2017 Chrome, there would be more of those cards graded than all World Cup stickers combined. So it's interesting that despite the fact that there's so many of these out there, not a lot of them are getting slabbed. So many years actually do have weak checklists though, and that's part of why so few end up getting graded. But some of the important ones, like 1970, which is the first World Cup set, and 1986, which is Maradona's legendary World Cup, have populations of under 1,000, and that 1986 set in particular has a population of around 200. So even some of the super key ones that are in the past don't really have a lot of grades, even though you would think that they would. And if anybody had these stickers from these seasons of key players, you would think they'd get graded, but it just hasn't shown to be the case so far. Now, you do need to keep in mind there's still a decent amount of unopened wax boxes from 1998 onwards, especially for 2006 and beyond, so keep in mind that these populations could grow easily if stickers started gaining price momentum. So, for example, if the Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo PSA 10s from 2006 suddenly 2 or 3x in price, then that would make more sense for people to open the boxes and try and grade those stickers, and so the populations would continue to go up. Same thing for anything really 1998 and after, because there's still easily to find boxes on the market for those. If stickers went up in price, you would expect those years to add to the pop report pretty significantly. For the sets pre-1990, I don't find a lot of freestanding packs or wax out there for them, and even some of the individual stickers can be hard to find, and a lot of people are searching for the key ones from 86 and 70, so I'm not sure how much those populations can really explode over the next few years if the sticker market in terms of PSA slab stickers starts to increase in price. I'm not sure you're going to see a lot of 1986 Maradonas or a lot of 1970 Peles, Beckenbauers, Mullers, and all those end up getting graded en masse, because I just don't think they're out there in gradable condition. Then talking about gradable condition, we'll move on to the gem rates of these sets. So again, the same World Cup sticker sets, this by PSA gem rate by set. The lightish blue color is the PSA 10, and the more dark purple color is the PSA 9 percentage rate for each set. So you can see, of course, the newer the set is, the more likely you are to get a PSA 9 or a PSA 10 on the stickers that you send in. So prior to the 2006 set, the PSA 10 rate never reaches 10%, and prior to the 1990 set, the PSA 9 rate never reaches past 5%. The PSA 10 rate does not explode until 2014, when it nearly triples the rate of the previous World Cup. So 2014 and onward, these stickers start to get PSA 10 rates in the 30% range, and so now the majority of the stickers in these sets are either 9s or 10s, whereas even in 2010, the majority of the stickers are not in PSA 10 condition. The majority, 55% or so of the stickers, are actually PSA 8s and below, and this, of course, as you go further back, becomes more and more so the case. The key years that I'm identifying here are 1970, 86, 98, 2006, and 2018 in terms of the stickers that are in those sets. In 1970, you have PSA 10 and PSA 9 rates under 5% each. In 1986, same thing, PSA 10 and PSA 9 rates are under 5% each. In 1998, you have a PSA 10 rate of under 5% and a PSA 9 rate of 16%. So it ticks up a little bit, but the PSA 10s are still super difficult in 1998, despite the fact that there's a lot more wax sitting out there and a lot more of these been graded. We're not seeing a lot of 10s for this year, probably because the quality control and the production just didn't allow for there to be a lot of PSA 10 copies. And even PSA 9s at 16% is really low. But then when you move forward to 2006, the PSA 10 rate is still low at 11%, but the PSA 9 rate starts to tick up to 36%. Now, these rates are based on what, of course, has been opened and sent to PSA, so even the unopened wax, you would expect the PSA 10 rate to still sit around 11% on new wax that is being opened. Then in 2018, the PSA 10 and PSA 9 rates blow up over 30%, and that's more of where you get the narrative of there's way too many of these out there, they're way too easy to grade, so they're not really investable because there's just too many in high grade. And for those much more recent years like 2018, 2014, 2022, and onwards, I would agree that I think the condition does not work in your favor. But for some of the prior years, and especially the really older years, I think the condition rarity is on your side. So, like I mentioned a little bit previously, you need to keep in mind that the unopened wax factor is definitely a thing here. The newer years with more unopened wax are likely to keep similar high-grade rates. So the more wax that gets opened for 2014 and 2018, the more I would consider the gem rates to stay in this 30+% range for those products, whereas older years are likely to dip as more lower grades get added. So for example, more 1970 stickers get added, I expect the PSA 10 and PSA 9 rate to continue to drop. Same thing all the way up through probably even 1994 when there's not as much product left out there. But for the years 1998 and onward, I would expect the gem rates to continue to be similar to what they are currently. So with all those graphs out of the way, we're going to go ahead and look at some key stickers from the World Cup sets. And of course, we'll start with the 1970 Pele, which is arguably the most important and iconic World Cup sticker ever made. It's from the first set. It's from the most important player, and it is from a tournament that he actually won the World Cup in. So this is the population report for all the different grades. You can see there's 1 PSA 10, 7 PSA 9s, and then you can go down the list. The total population of this sticker right now, as of recording, is 187. In terms of recent sales, in a PSA 8 off-center, it is most recently sold June of 2023 for $600. In March of 2023, it sold twice, once in a PSA 9 for $1,800 and once in a PSA 6 for $300. So as you can see, these don't really sell that frequently. Ever since March, there's only been 3 sales of this sticker, and part of that is because its total population is pretty low, and another part of that, I think, is that a lot of people are actually collecting this rather than trying to flip it onto the market, so you don't really see these all that often hitting the market. And just as a reference point for what this sort of price is in terms of what other Pele things are out there, unlicensed Pele Leaf shaky sticker autographs sell for over $250 each. Shaky referring to the autograph being very shaky in nature because it was signed when he was much older in his lifetime, so his autograph gets shakier and shakier as he ages. So it's always been sort of a weird vibe for me if you're looking to buy shaky Pele autos, but that's a whole different thing for a whole another day. But the point is that those unlicensed Pele Leaf shaky sticker autos sell for over $250, whereas a PSA 6 mid-grade of possibly the most important World Cup sticker ever made only sells for $300. Just super interesting in my opinion in terms of where people are placing priorities in this market. I'm not saying you should buy one over the other. I'm just leaving that out there as a comparison to what people are paying for in the Pele market. Then we'll move forward to 1986 Maradona. This is a sticker celebrating the greatest World Cup performance of all time. It has no PSA 10s, 4 PSA 9s, 10 PSA 8s, and you can go down the list and see how the rest of the mid-grades line up. It is a total population right now of 92, and its recent sales are even harder than the Pele, of course, because it's about half the population. It sold most recently in April in a PSA 4 for around $160, and then it sold twice in December, once in a PSA 6 for $475, and then once in a PSA 5 for $180. A comparison on his market would be that this Maradona and Messi base card from the Messi Icons 2013 set in PSA 9 condition sold for $150. And I know it's a super iconic image and a super iconic card, but at the end of the day, it's a base card from a set that is Messi Icon specifically. I really like that set, but those cards aren't all that hard to find for less than $20 if you really do some digging. So a PSA 9 for $150 versus getting a mid-grade of this Diego Maradona sticker. Super interesting to me in terms of what people are prioritizing in the Maradona type market in that price range. Then you have the 1998 Zinedine Zidane sticker. It's his first World Cup sticker, and he was on the World Cup winning tournament team for a top 10 player of all time that Zidane definitely is. In PSA 10 population, it is a 6 total. In PSA 9, there are 53. In PSA 8, there are 77, and you can go down the list. And of course, comparing to the most recent examples I gave you, there are much higher grades of this sticker. The total population is 270, and the recent sales, this one sells a lot more. A PSA 10, one of the 6 PSA 10s sold in May for $667. A PSA 9 sold that same month for an average of around $50. And then if I try to equate that to a PSA 8, I'd say that's probably worth around $20 if it did hit the market. And my comparison for the Zidane market will be that this Select sticker auto and some of the Select sticker autos that have just come out for the new Select La Liga set are selling for $600+ depending on which refractor and which color background and which serial number these sticker autos have. So those are selling for around the same price or even more than a Pop 6 PSA 10 super important sticker on his market. At least in my opinion, I think this is a super important sticker for his market. So interesting the prices people are paying there for different Zidane collectibles. Then we'll move forward to one of my favorite ones. This is the 2002 Ronaldinho. This is his first World Cup sticker, of course, and he was on the World Cup winning tournament team, and he's a top 25-ish player, depending on who you ask and where you want to rank him all time. And the really cool thing about this sticker is it's only in the Brazilian edition of the set. It is not in the global release for Panini stickers. It's just in the Brazilian one, and that plays a huge role in the population of this sticker. So despite it being from 2002, you can see its population is tiny in comparison to even the 70 Pele or the 86 Maradona. There are no PSA 10s, 1 PSA 9, and 5 PSA 8s, and you can see the rest of the grades and how they line up there. It is very difficult to grade because the centering is so poor on all of these. I have owned a few in the past, and of course the centering is always nowhere near perfect on them. Recent sales, this one does not sell very often at all. It has not sold in a slab since November of 2022. Where a PSA 6 sold for $57, and then a month prior to that, in September of 2022, it sold in an SGC 7 for $150. As a comparison, for the Ronaldinho market, an unlicensed leaf sticker auto with his shortened signature, which is just R10 rather than him spelling out his full signature, sells for $80+. So you can see the difference in price there. You can place whatever importance on those two different collectibles you want. I just think it's interesting to compare what you can get for around the same price. Now, I will say, since this was produced in Brazil and only Brazil, it's going to be more rare than you would think a traditional 2002 World Cup sticker would be, but Brazil does have a huge sticker collecting base, so it's possible that these just aren't coming up on the market enough because the people in Brazil don't see them as super valuable and they haven't sold for super high prices, so they're just not coming to market. And I would expect this population to definitely increase, and it would not be rarer than the 86 Maradona or the 1970 Pele. At least in my opinion, I would not expect it to be rarer than those two. Then we'll move on to the 2006 Lionel Messi. This is the first World Cup sticker for a top 4 all-time player. I think everybody has him in their top 4. I think people will debate where he belongs in the rankings of the top 4, but I think it's safe to assume that everyone has him in their top 4, and he was the eventual World Cup winner in 2022, so this sticker sort of means a little bit more than it used to. In PSA 10 condition, there are actually 87, with 14 added to the pop report in the past 6 months, and just 1 added in the past 2 months. So there was a spurt when people started sending a bunch of these to PSA, but it seems to have calmed down over the last couple months, but definitely keep an eye on that because there will, of course, be more PSA 10s, especially as more of the wax does get opened. This is not the hardest wax box to find out there in the world. I think they sell for around $300 or so. So if this sticker were to go up in price a lot, people would start buying the wax, opening it, and trying to get PSA 10s. And the PSA 10 rate is around 11% for this set. But the total population, at least right now for this sticker, is 1,409, and I lined up the recent sales that I could find of a PSA 10, 9, and 8. The most recent PSA 10 was in April of 2023 for $1,000. I did see a sale, I think it might have been last week or the week prior, for $550 or something crazy low for a PSA 10. I'm not sure if that's a real sale because that would be half of the previous price and a few $100s less than the most recent Ronaldo sales. So I don't know if that's real. If it is, I think somebody probably got an amazing deal. And if anybody wants to sell me one of these Messis in PSA 10 for around $500, let me know. But yeah, I don't know if that's where the legit market is for this sticker right now. And if you tried to buy one, I don't think you would be able to do so for around $500. In May of 2023, a PSA 9 sold for $175. And then in June, most recently of 2023, a PSA 8 sold for around $50. So in terms of where this lines up with the rest of the Messi market, a 2019 Finest base sticker auto of Lionel Messi in PSA 9 condition recently sold for $1,260. So a base card from the 2019 Finest set, which isn't a significant set, with a sticker autograph from Lionel Messi on it. There could be hundreds and thousands of more Lionel Messi sticker autos out there. In PSA 9 condition, this card sold for more than a PSA 10 of this sticker would, and perhaps maybe even more than 2 of these PSA 10 stickers would. So super interesting, of course, where people are prioritizing their spending in the Messi market. And with that, we'll move into the conclusion. Panini World Cup stickers are an integral part of soccer collecting history worldwide, although the collector base for these stickers have not made their transition to the slabbed versions of these stickers. The collectors around the world for this collectible are really the type of people that are placing them in the albums and are currently not really interested in having slabbed versions, at least not right now. It's possible that the transition to slabs is never made, and the stickers continue to be passed over by shinier, ultramodern era cards that are favored by the current market participants instead. But if the transition is made, the populations and condition rarity of older key World Cup stickers might not be able to handle an increase in demand. I'm personally not optimistic on stickers post 2006, just due to how many are being hoarded in top condition, as well as how many are produced and how much wax is still out there for those. But maybe the parallels in 2022 and beyond might be worth looking at. I have no crystal ball or World Cup sticker slabs. I personally don't own anything that I talked about in this video. I may in the future. It just depends on when you're watching this. But I do believe these stickers play an important role in soccer history. Whether or not that ever creates monetary value for the slabbed copies is yet to be seen. And of course, same conclusion as always, buy what you like, collect what you like, and enjoy the hobby. And then at the bottom, I just took some screenshots of some of my favorite stickers that I was able to think of and find from the World Cup. So some significant ones there, at least in my opinion, for myself. But that will go ahead and do it for today's video. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Discord link in the description. It's free. You can join the conversation with some other collectors, investors, gamblers, whatever you want to call the people that are participating in the soccer card hobby. You can find us in the Discord link in the description. You can follow me on Instagram, all that sort of fun stuff, and I will see you in the next video.